I've been working on it a little bit the last 2 days. Did a rust repair in the trunk, which was the biggest amount of rust, and put this piece in because somebody cut it out to pull the motor because they just had to have that 383. It was going to leave and I just couldn't let it go. I convinced the customer to let us get inside, underside painted, strip the outside, and put it on rotisserie, have it blasted. So we're going to be doing a little bit more work to it here. It's just too cool of a car to have in this condition. It had an engine fire, which led to the more surface rust, but that rust can be really hard to get rid of. So we'll see what happens there. But you know, he got a new fenders for it and whatnot, and so it should be okay. You know, stuff like these hinges, we'll have them blasted, we'll paint them up all nice. This is gonna be a lot better. Right now, you take that home, the wife says, "What did you do?" But when we get it done, you know, they can kind of see the vision, kind of see that it might actually make it. Probably my favorite thing about it is these monster boot tires on these old rocket wheels. He actually had these on his Mustang that we just had in here. Same customer that we had with the Shelby GT500. So he knows what cars to get, but man, does he get them in a state.
All it takes is one job, oh yeah. All it takes is one job, and everything is gonna be okay.
This is the repair that I just got done this morning. This was our customer's attempt at a repair, and I'm not going to say anything bad about that. This is the piece that I made. Look at that. That boy knows what he's doing. The bottom of this Roadrunner is just in excellent shape. There's the spot that I repaired, and it has some crude repair on this piece, so I'm ordering a new lower outside floor, inner quarter, whatever you want to call it. But incredibly good shape under here. Someone has welded some 1/4-inch plate as some sort of traction bar mount or something like that. We'll get rid of that. But like that little guy, he is always gone. He's always gone. And he's just sitting there right as rain. You can see it's got the bench seat mount, not the buckets on the sucker. I love old Mopars, bench seats, floor shift. All about it. All about it. But yeah, incredibly good shape. I'm very pleasantly surprised, pleased with the condition. It's not even dented up. You know, that's crazy. Somebody owned a old Mopar and they didn't jump it. Who was this mystery person? Well, I did not film a damn thing today. We had to get the rotisserie off of the Nash out there and put it on a different cart. Getting this on is kind of, you really better be paying attention. You know, I don't like to be distracted while I'm doing it because, you know, for obvious reasons it could fall off or whatever. But just getting it in the right spot, and you have to kind of try to balance it. So you're trying to find the center of the weight of the vehicle. And we're a little bit off. I might mess with it a little because you can roll it over, but it gets really hard when you start to get down a little ways here. So got it on the rotisserie, and then I started stripping it down. Don't let the clean shot fool you. It was a disaster. Getting every little piece off for sandblasting is what I do. I don't like to, you know, like there's those little fender tabs. Well, the fender tabs are rusty, and then if you leave them on here, the rust and whatever else is under here is going to stay. So I like to get them all the way off of there, so that way when it comes back from sandblasting, we can sand it and paint it. And, you know, the paint's covered just like it was from the factory. This being a dark green, some of the different Mopars, they would paint this the body color. And it is painted the body color because I don't know if they were sprayed or dipped. They might have been dipped, but they painted everything, you know. And then some guy would come in here and kind of fog some black in. The black that was on these firewalls came on some of the blue cars, some of the darker greens, some of the lighter greens, but some of the other colors, they didn't paint that. That was just left the body color. All the little window clips. It's kind of why I'm a little bit frustrated right now, because someone put a roof skin on this and they took it off another car, put it on this car, and they did a shit job. And then the car was also had an engine fire, and it warped up this cowling, and it just has a shit ton of filler on it. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that. We're going to go ahead and strip everything down and see what we got. It's got weird shit like that cut right there. Like, what's that about? And then they left all the staples in here from the vinyl top and just painted over it. And then they didn't prep any of this, so all the paint is just chipping right off. So this has to go all the way back down. I was kind of hoping that we wouldn't even sandblast in the roof area at all, but you know, there's some stuff going on. Not sure how bad it is, but judging by the way they have the roof skin welded on and stuff, and the misalignment right here and stuff, I don't know what we're going to end up doing. We might have to take the skin off and put it back on again. The quarters seem pretty good. I was a little worried down here, but there's just a little filler. There's something, I don't know what this is all about, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. This side seems to be in good shape. There's I've been scraping all the seam sealer out. You really want to scrape that seam sealer out. You'll have spots like this, and you know, you scrape that seam sealer out, that rust is underneath. You know, you just want to get that off of there, sandblast it, and then you can come back and put that new seam sealer in that's not cracking or peeling or whatnot. And it, you know, that rust that's underneath it isn't helping anything. Trying to figure out what all's going on. There's a little bit of, I don't know what going on around here. Stuff like this seam isn't supposed to be welded, and it's got a weld on it. Deep filler here, and really deep filler here. Look at that. That's good if it's a tire tread, bad if it's filler. Stuff like that. That weld's not supposed to even be like that. That's just supposed to be spot welded and stuff. So there's weird stuff going on all over it, you know, and I'm not sure exactly what we're all going to end up into. Fire, when you have fire damage, when it warps the metal, it doesn't follow the normal rules. Like a dent happening from an object has a way that you can pull it back out. You have to reverse the way it was hit. But fire heating up the metal and warping it is totally different. It doesn't, you can't just pull it back. It doesn't just go back easily like a regular dent. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. This area there, this was cracked, so I ground it out, and they hadn't prepped it correctly. It still had rust on it. The fire causes this instant rust that's really gnarly. It's hard to get off. We're going to have to try to use sand on it. We'll use walnut shell on the whole car. I'll strip all the panels by hand. We'll walnut shell the rest of it, and then the stuff that the walnut shells won't get off, which the walnut shell really won't even touch this. Then we'll go back in those areas and try to sandblast them. Sandblasting be the most abrasive, the greatest chance of pieces getting warped. So it's kind of a last resort. But this stuff has to get cleaned off. We can't just paint over rust. You know, it's not even an option. So something has to happen. The roof skin, if it has to come off and fix it and put it back on, I'm not too concerned about it. You know, it's going to suck, but it's not terrible. Even if it has to come back off. But like, I don't know if you can see this, but this is just beat to shit. I don't know why this is so wavy. And there was like see, that's a weld. And then they didn't weld that, and that was a rust line in the primer, so I ground it down to kind of see what it was doing. But man, you know, I'm putting this YouTube channel on here so people can see how to do things, and you can learn from it and use some of the techniques. But if it seems like it's really, really out of your wheelhouse, you know, like you've never done a roof skin before, you've never done a spot weld before, you know, a 69 Roadrunner, it might not be where you want to start, you know. So you got to choose your battles. You know, I learned that the hard way, you know. Sometimes I try to go and I try to be like a fence builder, or I try to do some tile work, and I end up just totally screwing it up, having to have somebody come in and do it, and it would have been so much better if I would have just gone to work, do what I do, and pay those guys to do what they do, you know. Subframe and stuff, we'll sandblast this all together, then we'll come back, do ball joints and bushings and stuff. But it's nice to just have it clean while you're working on it. This is another thing that, you know, it doesn't take too long to take out the subframe, you know. The quality of the job, just having it sandblasted and painted, you know, so it doesn't have the overspray of the body and all the other stuff. You know, and after we get the engine bay painted and whatnot, then this goes back in there all shiny. It looks just like new. Maybe even a little better. But I'm concerned about the roof. I'm concerned about that upper firewall, that cowl cover. So we'll see. I don't know.
All it takes is one job, oh yeah. All it takes is one job, and everything is gonna be